that's the way you do the do-up shop on Sunday without a gay reason.
CBS-FM. And, Mike,
yes, Don.
It's not as easy as I thought it was going to be.
No, I kept saying Don K. Reed's here. We just want to prove it, and we're going to see. We got the Chevrons here with us.
Yes, we do. And I want to say, welcome these guys here. Of all days, I had to wake up with laryngitis. Why don't you tell them who the gentlemen are who make up this group, Mike?
Sure, we have Al Conde. How you doing, Al? Good to have you with us. John Marty Trautman and Terry Cashman. Pleasure to have you here, Terry. Gary Giordan.
How you doing?
And Frank Williams.
Now, Terry's been here before.
Yes.
As a Talkin Baseball man, right?
Right.
But you were part of this group, and was the first group you ever were a part of?
Well, first professional group. All of us, lived in the Washington Heights, Inwood area of Upper Manhattan, and we sang in different groups. I went to high school in Harlem at Rice High School, and I sang down there with a few guys, and we had a few tryouts. But this is when this group got together. Some people at Bobby Shad at Brent Records heard us and decided to steal our money.
Give me an idea. That was pretty good. Heard that before.
Oh, yes, we certainly have.
Tell me,
Reparations, bro.
How did the Chevrons get together?
Why don't you talk about you guys? And I was next to last in the group, and then he was. I like to give my part. Why don't you?
How do you?
Well, originally, Gary and Frankie.
Who were the guys who put it together?
Gary and Frankie and myself with another guy from the neighborhood named Joel Wiener, who we allowed in the group because he was good looking, not because he could sing. And Joel, that was the four of us, right?
Yeah,
and then Paul Schneller, who wound up singing with Norman Fox and the Rob Roys. He dumped us because they were going to make a record before us. So he dumped us, and at that time Marty had come in. In fact, was it at the Y?
Well, in fact, what happened is a little trivia time here. Paul Schneller, who was our original bass, wound up. He's the bass singer on Pizza Pie with the Rob Roys on a Capitol label, and Flipside is a nice song called Dream Girl. A little plug for the Rob Roys. But I walked in. We met at what we call a Nagel Avenue Y up in Inwood, up in Manhattan. And as this was not unusual back then, I walked into the men's room or boys' room, whatever we were back then, And there were a bunch of clowns standing in the corner singing. There were 8 guys trying to do 5-part harmony, you know what I mean? So I just laid back. I never sang with anybody in my life. And I kind of casually bopped over. And he finished the song, and I said, man, you guys are tough. You know, back then it was so tough. You know, you're cool. And I said, can I sing a song with you guys? And the first question they'll look at you, and they'll say, what do you know? So I said, well, why don't we start off with Please Say You Want Me by the Schoolboys. And in fact, when we do our thing tonight, we'd like to start off with that just for nostalgia's sake. And when Paul left us his bass and went with the Rob Roys, Al was with a group called the Spirals. Go ahead and tell your story, brother.
Well, I was singing with the Spirals. We recorded on a label called Sabrina. And we didn't do very well on it, so we switched over to Gone Records, which was owned by George Goldner. And we recorded, the A&R man was Richard Barrett at that time. And he heard us and he liked where we sounded, so he asked us to, sign a contract with him, and we did. And we recorded a song called School Bells. And it was in August of 1960. And we recorded it, and at that time, that same night actually, he recorded another group called Anthony and the Imperials. And he pushed Anthony Imperials. So,
who was that?
Just a little known group. And then after that, Marty had heard me singing with the group, and he asked me if I would like to join the Chevrons. And at the time, my group was disbanding, so I said, why not? Let me take a chance. And that's how it started.
What was the first songs to come out of those first sessions?
From the Chevrons?
Yeah.
Professional recordings?
Yeah.
That Comes With Love was not only our first
That was the first one we
but
heard.
it was the first release on the Brent label. Another bit of trivia for you. Guess you know it, but I'm sure you know it, but you folks out there that don't know it.
Okay, let's hear something live, okay?
Okay.
You gonna do that, Please Say You Want Me?
Yeah, we'd like to start off with that, if you don't mind. The Schoolboys back in 1957. What's the B-flat?
Please say you want me to be your love. I have always wanted you to be my love. With the stars up in the sky, you realize, then you will realize that you belong to me. Do, 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 do.
song you guys had written?
No, I believe, I remember a guy named Frank Cinque wrote that song that was just given to the record company. We had to publish it.
What about the flip side? The flip side on Don't Be Heartless.
That was Barry Abbott, our manager prior to getting on label.
Did you guys ever write any of the songs you did?
No.
Original material at all?
No.
It was always given to you by the company?
Yeah. Right.
All right, can we listen to the flip of That Comes With Love? That would be Don't Be Heartless, right?
Right.
Okay, let's give a listen to Chevrons.
Don't be
selection and most value in a new car or truck, see your local Tri-State Chevrolet dealer for details on the Summer Carnival of Cash.
Don't be heartless, my love.
Don't Be Heartless. I'm Don K. Reed. Doesn't sound like me, but it's really me. I'm in the doo-wop shop with the Chevrons, and Mike Fitzgerald is here, and he's going to do some, in fact, he's going to do a lot of talking.
Yes, we're trying to help Don through it, yes.
Okay, let's take care of some business. Back with the Chevrons.
The doo-wop shop with Don K. Reed.
Back with my guests, the Chevrons.
The Chevrons, right?
And let's find individually some of you gentlemen how it began. Al, since you're at the microphone, before you ever heard of the Chevrons, how did you get interested in singing?
Well, you want to go back that far?
As far as you want to go back.
Okay, let's go back to 1955. That's when I started getting interested in rock and roll. I used to go to a school called Stitt on 165th Street in Edgecombe Avenue. And there were a lot of groups that came out of that school. And I started listening, and then I started participating in it. And a lot of the groups that came out of it, if I can say, is one of them was Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers, the Channels you had, and that's how I started. I started singing, and I started dubbing for basses, and I started liking it very much. The area where I lived, there were a lot of singers, a lot of people in the music business.
Kenny Rankin?
Yeah, well, Kenny Rankin was believe it or not, was my scoutmaster, and he was the one that got me into singing. Yeah. Kenny Rankin was fantastic.
Both cats or both cats?
No, both. So, but not only Kenny Rankin, but believe it, a guy by the name of Larry Corney changed his name to Tiny Tim. He was from 181st Street.
That's right. Just gone through the Phillies.
That's right. That's right. He was there from there, yeah. Yeah.
Tiny has been here,
and,
too.
And one of my buddies, Billy Barbaras, he wrote a song called Portrait of My Love for Steve Lawrence. And that's how it happened. We had a lot of people that were in the music business.
A lot of influence around you, right?
Yeah, the influence, a lot, definitely. And then when I went to high school, George Washington, I started singing with the Spirals. And that's what happened. I went into the Spirals group, and we started meeting people. And I had met Richard Barrett at the school in Stitt. And he was also an influence on me in the rock and roll business.
All right, let's do another one live, okay?
Sure, why not?
What are you going to do?
Hey, Senorita.
Flip side of Earth Angel by the Penguins. Hey, Senorita. And we used to do this many, many times in the schoolyard.
One of our favorites.
Good old echo chamber, the bathroom was always
Yeah, right. Or the subway, you know.
You're into B-sides, you know what I mean?
Hey, senorita, please let me take you home. Oh, little girl, why don't you let me take you home? If you do that, baby, I promise to be alone. Hey, senorita, please call me on the line. Oh, little girl, why don't you call me on the line? If you do that, baby, everything will be fine. Call me on the line. Sweet mama, sweet mama, sweet mama, sweet mama, sweet mama, well, I love you ever, and everything will be fine. Now that you are mine.
All right. We're here with the Chevrons.
And that was them singing Hey, Senorita. And this is Mike Fitzgerald along with Don K. Reed, whose voices did not show up. Let's continue finding out some of the background of the members of the Chevrons. John, Marty Trautman.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for the applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Singing.
First, I'd like to clarify my name for all these people who are listening. My given name is John Martin Trautman.
Okay.
All these guys in my family call me Marty. Don't ask me why, because I don't know. But professionally, business, and in school, I've always been known as John, and I've been singing for the past 15 years, known as Johnny 56.
Oh, okay.
So now that we had that out of the way,
Where did it start?
where did it start? Well, I'll try to be a little more brief than Al. I go back a little further than Al. I remember in my bedroom listening to Alan Freed on WINS. Can I say? Sorry, CBS. I love you.
No, you still listen to that, too.
That's right, me too.
And at the same time, watching the Knicks play on TV with people like Carl Braun and Vince Barilla, Sweetwater Clifton, and so on. And because I'm short, I had a basketball hoop, with a little ball, but I had it attached to the doorknob so I could dunk. It was up on the top, forget about it, right?
I used to dunk over Neil Johnson.
Anyway, I used to sing along with some records that Alan Freed played, Heartbeats and whatnot, the Dubs. And then finally, one day when I was 17 or 18, let me go back to high school. I went to Charles Evans Hughes, which, as you may know, Johnny Maestro went to, and I used to walk into the bathroom there, and he'd be doo-wopping with either all the crests or some of the crests. I'd walk into the bathroom next time I skipped class, and the cellos were in there, Japanese Sandman boys. And I also believe Maxine Brown went to Charles Evans Hughes. Anyway, I met this foxy, I don't know, she was in the ladies' room. I met this foxy blonde named Arlene Levine. Little did I know at the time that she was Frankie's girlfriend. And Frankie's 3 times my size, all right? The only way I could see Arlene was to join us Y, where we met at Nagel Avenue up in Inwood, and to see her regularly. And I really had done no singing whatsoever, except with the radio. I used to like to sing along with Elvis and so on, of course, all the doo-wop groups. And I had my favorites, which I won't go into, but I had done absolutely no singing till, as I mentioned earlier, I popped into the bathroom one night, and there they were. And see, back in those days, I mean, if you didn't like these guys, you better not say it because there's 5 or 6 or 8 guys on top of you, right? But if you like them, I mean, you just kind of, man, you guys are just great. So they sounded pretty good. And I figured I'd help them out a little, see? So I went over and they would go to Please Say You Want Me, and it sounded pretty good. And then they said, you know, if you're good, they say, hey, man, what else do you know? You know? So I said, how about I want you to be my girl by the school, teenagers. We did that and on. And then I became part of the group.
That's the first time you really sang without the radio?
Yes, with a group, right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's John Martin, but we can call him Marty.
Whatever.
Okay,
They call me
Trautman.
we call them both things, too.
And we're here with we're here with the Chevrons in the Doo-Wop Shop. More coming up. Don K. Reed's Doo-Wop Shop is sponsored in part by Martlet Importers, makers of Molson Light.
WCBS-FM, we're back, and it's hard to believe, but I'm Don K. Reed here with the Chevrons and a little laryngitis. Terry.
Yes, sir.
I want to talk to you. You've been here before, of course, and I want to find out about, your background, and you've got an extensive music background, but again, how did you start initially singing?
Well, my family was very musical. My sister was a very good singer, my sister Maddie, and just about everybody in my family could sing, and I had four older brothers and sisters, and they were into records, they were into swing and, Dorsey and Benny Goodman and Miller and all that stuff, and then Frank Sinatra in the 40s. And when I was really starting to get into music, I would listen to all those records. But there was something, I guess, like a lot of kids who were 13 or 14 around 1955 that you didn't identify with. And when I first heard, Moondog and, the Alan Freed shows, I said, this is interesting. This sounds like something that's mine and not theirs. So that's really how I became interested in rock and roll. At that time, we called it rhythm and blues music. And I went to school in Harlem at Rice High School. And there were a lot of black and Puerto Rican kids down there, and they were all into street singing. And at that time, my voice was about 2 octaves higher, so I could do all the Frankie Lyman stuff. And we used to sing at dances, and wanted to make records like everybody else, and went for a few auditions. And we played at the Apollo one night. And by the time I was 16,
guess from 15 or 16, I started singing with these guys in my neighborhood. And, that was really, we used to enjoy it like every other street corner group in New York and the Bronx and Brooklyn. We loved it, and we'd go in the school, any place we could. I mean, the guys who could sing, let's go hit some notes. We go in the bathrooms, the schoolyards, into the tunnels, or wherever, any place where there,
The cave.
looking for an echo. And it was just really something to identify with. And I think that you found that almost every group within, group of kids within, like a 20-block area, there was some group from that area. Like we were the group from Inwood. And then Washington Heights was the Spiral, and Riverdale was Rob Roy's. So, and I'm sure, north of that, the next 20 blocks, there was some other group. So
you continued.
Yeah, well, I had two loves. I had love of sports, mainly baseball and music, and I went away to play baseball. In fact, we finally got on the Dick Clark show, and I couldn't show up because I was in spring training or something, or I was playing, and
June 24th, 1960.
That's right.
It was taken off.
Just happened to remember.
What team was it?
I was with the Tigers farm system, and as I remember, we found out Dick Clark was not a big baseball fan. He said that I was off with the Lions. But then I got into the music business. I took a job with ABC Records and started writing, and met Tommy West and Gene Pasilli, and then Jim Croce and so forth.
You went on to produce Jim Croce.
Yes, Tommy West and I produced all those records.
And then you had some of your own stuff under Cashman and West.
Cashman and West, American City Suite.
Yeah, because that got quite a bit of play.
Yes, in fact, whenever I go anyplace and do shows like this, that is the most asked about song of anything I've ever done in my life, that particular thing.
And the third part of it, if I remember, was the part about New York City.
Well, the whole thing was about New York City. It was about this.
Slow,
it was about exactly what we're talking about, growing up in that era, which I was just saying to Marty before, he's a collector of things. I don't collect things but in my mind, and that's where, all the, the Talkin Baseball and American City Suites, all those lyrics are about our neighborhood. They're
about the part the friend is dying.
Avenue and Nagel Avenue and
how it's changed over the years.
Yeah. It's something that a lot of people can identify with.
Yeah, and also in that, I think you remember, there were a couple of, Tommy West was with a group called the Criterions. Right. So we had, identification in that way. We both, really started out, our roots were in, whatever you want to call it, doo-wop music, or rock and roll music, or whatever phrase you want to use. So we had those roots. And in American City Suite, there are, a few references to that, down in the first part of it, without belaboring it, there's a reference to, down on the corner, a group is singing in three-part harmony, and the guy does falsetto and all that kind of thing. So
how'd you get from there into the Talkin Baseball?
Yeah, what was how many songs have you recorded?
You've done a few of those.
Well, the baseball, so every team has a song, and that came from,
That came from something.
Again, it's the same thing. That song is about Nagel Avenue and Hillside Avenue, and standing on the corner waiting for the news and the Mirror to come out, and arguing about baseball with everybody. And he was a Mickey Mantle fan. He was a Duke Snyder fan. Well, they can't see you, Marty. It's radio. Well, that's what you were, Willie. So you got, the three arguments, would go on, and then that's where that song came from. It was about that era and about.
Do you recall when you first got the idea to do these baseball songs?
Yeah, I have a picture of Mays, Mantle, and Snyder coming in to an old-timers day.
Is that what made the light bulb go off?
Yeah, Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. I said, that's a song because that's something that everybody in New York especially, but probably all around the country, because it was such a unique era of baseball where the three great center fielders played in one town.
Did you do other songs relating to baseball as well?
Yeah, I've written quite a few.
Yeah, that were recorded.
Yeah, I recorded all of them. And
what were some of the other titles?
Well, there's a song about Cooperstown, and I did a song about Pete Rose, and I've done a lot of songs for different players for their days of retirement. Rusty Staub and Phil Negro and Earl Weaver, and the list goes on.
Right. You can go on forever with that, can't you?
Yeah, it's an unusual niche, that you kind of got established as your own. Yeah,
it's something I really enjoy doing because, as these guys know, I love sports. And in fact, Frankie and I were teammates. Right? He was my catcher before I got signed on a team called the Settlers, which was a pretty good ball team.
So, team in baseball has one of these songs, right?
Except the Mariners.
Not much history yet there, right?
But you're probably working on it, right?
Oh, yeah, too much. Seattle.
Well, I tell you, let's play the first version. I guess this is the one that started it all. Terry Cashman and Talkin Baseball.
The Wiz kids had won it, Bobby Thompson had done it, and Yogi read the comics all the while. Rock and roll was being born, marijuana we would scorn. So down on the corner, the national pastime went on trial. Talking baseball, Klazuski, Campanella, talking baseball. The man and Bobby Feller, the Scooter, the Barber, and the Newt. They knew them all from Boston to Dubuque, especially Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Well, Casey was winning, Hank Aaron was beginning, one Robbie going out, one coming in. Kiner and Midget Goodell, the Thumper and Mel Parnell, and Ike was the only one winning down in Washington. I'm talking baseball, Klazuski, Campanella, talking baseball. The man is Bobby Feller, the Scooter, the Barber, and the Duke. They knew them all from Boston to Dubuque, especially Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Now my old friend, the bachelor, well, he swore he was the Oklahoma kid. And Cookie played hooky, could always be the Duke. And me, I always loved Willie May, 'cause what a day. Well, now it's the 80s, and Brett is the greatest, and Bobby Bonds can play for everyone. Rose is at the Met, Rusty again is a Met, and the great Alexander is pitching again in Washington. I'm talking baseball, like Reggie Queens and Barry, talking baseball. Carew and Gaylord Perry, Beaver, Darvin, Schmidt, and Ryder Blue. It's Cooper's town is calling, it's no fluke. They'll be with Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Mickey and the Duke. It was Willie, Mickey and the Duke. I'm talking Willie, Mickey and the Duke.
Well, everybody who came from New York can identify with that song. I'll tell you, there's nobody if you're a baseball fan. What I wanted to ask you about Lullabye, we played that, that particular tune. I love that song. Did you guys feel a good feeling when you recorded that? Is that the biggest one the Chevrons had?
That was great.
How did you feel about that when you initially recorded it?
Well, we the one that arranged that was Mickey Baker. I think you know Mickey and Sylvia.
Mickey Guitar Baker?
Yeah, right. He was great, and he did a lot on it. He helped us a lot. Don't you think?
See, back then, I mean, we were just given songs. In fact, if I can give you just one little...
He was a writer like Terry here.
I wasn't writing.
I want to give you one little additional bit of trivia, who you may or may not know. But after Lullabye died off, we made an album called Sing Along Rock and Roll, from which came the single release of Come Go With Me, which started to move, and then for some reason he decided to release Little Star. But we were given a demo. I don't know who wrote it. I had the demo home back in Texas, so-called All Through the Night, not to be confused with, I think the Mystics had one called All Through the Night.
Right.
Which was supposed to be, we rehearsed it and got it down tight, our next follow-up release after Lullabye. And if I'm not mistaken, that wound up as the B-side to the Paris Sisters' I Love How You Love Me. I may be wrong, but I think that's where it wound up. So we were just given, demos. And back then, what's his name? Aaron Schroeder. I guess you heard of him, you know him. He had us up. Once you have a little bit of a hit, all the writers come out. They swamp you. And they want you to listen to material, this and that. And but back then, again, we were just given material and said, give us a vocal arrangement, we're going to cut it.
Didn't Lee Greenlee write?
Yeah, Lee Greenlee.
Well, he was three of them. If you look at the labels, Mickey Baker, Bobby Lee, his wife, and Lee Greenlee.
Yeah.
Did you guys actually do the arranging on these things?
Yeah.
All the vocal arrangements.
Vocal arrangements.
Well, we worked with Mickey on that, and I remember going to his house. Remember we went up to
Central Park West, yeah.
And he pulled the guitar out, and obviously at that time it was, cha-cha rock, and I always felt, and I think we always felt that Lullabye was Hushabye had been a big hit. Mm-hmm. And, Bobby Shedd said, Hushabye, Lullabye. Let me see, cha-cha beat, and maybe we can have. And I think our records were produced a little bit slicker than a lot of the records. We had very good musicians play. I remember Panama Francis played on one of our records. I can't remember which one. And a couple of another guitar player besides Mickey Baker. That when I wound up, later on, producing records, these guys were there. I mean, so they were a little bit slicker than some of the other records that were on.
So a lot of the cream of the crop was there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You are up on CBS-FM.
Okay, we're back. Excuse me, my guests are the
Chevrons.
That's right. That's what I was trying to
Chevrons.
say. And Gary.
Talking with them all up to Gary Giordan.
Right, Gary, give us your background if you would.
Basically, I started with Dennis and Frank, the actual singing. And if I recall right, I used to work in a neighborhood soda shop. And the night that Marty ran into Dennis and Frank, I don't think I was there. I was told after...
You were making egg cream.
Right, exactly. It was Freddie's Luncheonette, and I was making, doing things and working, and they came back from the Y and said, hey, this new fella joined us, and he's got a nice voice, and he's going to stick with us. I said, great. And that's about before, and then Al came later on.
So, how did you start singing yourself initially?
Basically, just with, I met, like I said, I was friendly with Dennis and Frank, and we used to get together on the corner. That's basically it.
Frank?
Yeah.
Tell me, if you would, your background. How'd you start?
Basically the same way as Gary put it. We're all from the same neighborhood, so actually what he has to say is almost like a duplication of what I would say, since we were very tight in the neighborhood. We all used to pal around together down on the corner. And as the other gentleman told you, one thing led to another, and we wound up in that situation of recording a few records on the Burn label.
And the Chevrons have always been you five gentlemen?
Always, the original group.
Well, Marty, you can elaborate, can't you, on that? You're more up to
About 4 years ago.
on that. Remember we had Joel or something?
Oh, Joel was... You guys had Joel before I got there.
Oh, yeah.
And then, as we said earlier, Paul Schneller, who was a very good bass singer, equal to Al. We like Al better, but Paul's good.
Better.
Only because Al's here, guys. But he's from New York, and as I said, you can listen to him on Pizza Pie and The Flip Side Dream Girl.
You came up all the way from Texas, didn't you?
Well, for this gig, I did, yeah.
And how long haven't you guys sang?
Either 26 or 27 years. I believe 61 was the last time all five of us sang together.
61 was 27 years ago.
That's right, 27 years ago.
So it's kind of like a little reunion for the show.
Definitely, definitely.
I hope you're having a great time.
We are. Wonderful.
Love listening to your voice.
For the lack of it, yeah.
Let's do another one live.
Yeah, they're going to do...
Which one are you going to do?
Want to do a little star?
Or Come Go With Me. Which one?
Yeah, Come Go With Me. Great. Okay, the Chevrons going to do Come Go With Me right here in the doo-wop shop.
Dum 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 me doo dum 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 me doo dum 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 me doo dum wow 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 dum 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 me doo dum 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 me doo dum 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 me doo dum wow 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 wow. Darling, come and go with me, come with me, way behind the sea, and I need you, darling.
Come, summer hearty time, darling. We will never part behind, darling. So go with me. Come on, go with me. I said go with me. Come on, go with me. Wow, 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 wow.
Okay,
Chevrons, and Come Go With Me, live here in the Doo-Wop Shop at CBS-FM.
you brought along a recording of Little Star.
Yeah, definitely. We got one on the album.
Little Star was, Hush-A-Bye, as you said, was in the vein of Little Star, and then yours was sort of right down the line.
Cha-cha, rock-a-cha, whatever they call it.
What year was this version?
60.
1960, so it was about 2 years.
Part of that. They had us come in, and I think in 2 days we recorded about 95 songs. Whipping and driving us, saying more, and they were all done in medleys. And Bruce Morrow started playing.
Yeah. We did a lot of shows with Bruce.
A lot of them, and yeah.
No, he's ready.
And Come Go, they decided that, even though Come Go With Me was a hit about, 3 or 4 years before? Yeah. They decided to put it out again.
Little Star.
No, well, Come Go With Me and then Little Star.
Oh, yeah.
Come Go With Me was, I think, got to like...
57.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying our version got to like the top 50 on the Billboard chart. Strangely enough. I don't know how, but it was #1 in Chicago at one point. And again, we got, nice going, fellas. Checks in the mail.
Yeah, right. I'm waiting for it.
Then he pumps out Little Star after
As a matter
that.
of fact, we're still waiting for the check.
Did you guys do any personal appearances back then?
Yeah, we used to do record hops.
We did a big show for Cousin Brucey.
Cousin Brucey.
Back in the Cotillion Terrace in Brooklyn in 1959.
Who else did you work with?
What?
Who else did you work with?
Oh, we did the Dick Clark show, Richard Hayes show.
Richard Hayes, right? Channel 5, right?
Channel 5, Richard Hayes.
That was a big beat, which I think was prior to him out of Free.
Exactly.
We did all the TV
And then
shows.
Clay Cole Record Wagon on Channel 13, and we did Connecticut Band Set out of New Haven with Jim Gallant on Channel 8. And
We did
what you think?
We did a lot of traveling. I mean, we did a lot of shows.
Within the tri-state area?
Tri-state, yeah, Massachusetts. We went up the East Coast. We did a lot of shows.
Holyoke.
Remember Holyoke?
We did a heck of a gig with Cadillac.
Holyoke.
Speedo was there.
You ever do any of the freak shows at all?
No.
No. He was like a little before we came a little.
Yeah, he was kind of through by that.
I'll tell you who played us a lot. Can I mention Peter Tripp? Oh, yeah,
the third row? Absolutely.
I don't want to,
WSBM.
He was great.
Yeah. Okay, let's give a listen to your version of Little Star.
Where are you, little star? Where are you? Oh, rat-a-tat-tat-too. Oh, rat-a-tat-tat-too. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder where you are. Wish I might make this wish come true tonight. Search the whole world for a love. You're the one I'm thinking of. Oh, rat-a-tat-tat-too. Oh, rat-a-tat-tat-too. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder where you are. High above the tops of there, set me down a love to share. Oh,
CBS-FM, and those are the Chevrons, and they're recording a Little Star here on the Doo-Wop Shop, and we have all the Chevrons with us. This is Mike Fitzgerald, along with Don K. Reed.
Yes.
At least he's trying there. Still suffering from...
just yesterday I had a big thing out in Staten Island for Vito Pagone and the Elegants, celebrating 30 years for that song, yeah.
They're a great group.
Yeah, sure. We want to hear some more from you guys, and we'll come back and hear some more live in just a minute.
Hey, guys.
Okay, we're back with my guests, the Chevrons, and we have them all here, and they're going to do something live, right?
That's right. And what are you going to do live this time?
We'd like to do a little something by Giordan and the Belmonts. I guess their single biggest hit, Come Go. I'm sorry, not Come Go with Me. The wrong group, in the Teenager in Love.
Teenager in Love.
We don't have much time. Can I please at least just say a quick hello to my sons? I want to say I love my sons, Jeff and Jonathan, back in Richardson, Texas. Thank you very much.
I don't think they can hear him, but...
Oh, shit, they're on the non-OS or something. I don't know what they're doing.
We've added a guitar for this. This is not a cappella, ladies and gentlemen. I throw my guitar.
Half a cappella.
CBS-FM with the Chevrons, and a great job live on A Teenager in Love. Well, we want to thank all the Chevrons for being here. It's a great time to have you guys along.
Thank you. Pleasure.
I'm glad we were part of this reunion.
Yeah.
And everybody back together. Al Conde and John Trautman, Terry Cashman, Gary Giordan, and Frank Williams.
Yeah.
And before we say goodnight, we do want to ask you about the record we're going to close with. I'm in Love Again and All Shook Up. How did that one come about for
part
you?
of that album that we made of a lot of hits, and we did it for same record company, and this is just one of the medleys that were put together.
Okay. By the way, you were the sole reason for the reunion, so we'd like to thank you very much. It's our pleasure.
They're pointing to Don K. Reed.
Thank you for being here. I just wish my voice was.
Before you do that, Kathy and Doris, two of my sisters, are both laid up with some injuries and not feeling too well. Feel better, please. I love you.
And I'd just like to say hello to the Greystone gang at McLaughlin Park. I'll be seeing you.
Say hello to my wife and my children. Thank you very much.
Okay, here at WCBS-FM in New York, again, I want to thank Mike Fitzgerald for helping out.
It was a lot of fun, Don. I hope you get your voice back.
I hope so, too. I'll be looking for it, believe me. Right. And, of course, the Chevrons for being here. Thanks again.
Thank you.
I want to thank the Earls. Yesterday's Today, the Staten Street Corner Society, Nostalgia, Mixed Company, and the Chimes for some of those jingles we played earlier. Next is You Tell Him.
That's right, Mark Summers, music for lovers only on CBS-FM. We're going to close things out with the Chevrons. I'm in Love Again and All Shook Up.
Yes, me, I'm in love again. And I love it since you know it. You know I love you, yes I do. And I'm saving all my loving just for you. Need your loving and I need it fast. Just like a dog when it's going mad. Ooh, baby, baby, won't you give your love to me? Eeny, meeny, and miny, mo. like a man on a fuzzy street. My friends say I'm acting wild as a bug. I'm in love. I'm all shook.
Wake up, little Susie, wake up. Wake up, little Susie, wake up. We've both been sound asleep. Wake up, little Susie, and weep. The movie's over, it's 4 o'clock and we're in trouble deep. Wake up, little Susie. Wake up, little Susie. Well, what we gonna tell you, Mama?